If your Maytag washer is showing F5, do not panic and do not assume the whole machine is dead, because on most Maytag washers, F5 is not usually some giant mystery failure. Most of the time, it means the washer is having trouble with the door or lid lock system. And that is actually good news, because the first things to check are usually simple. Now, here is the first thing you need to know. F5 by itself is often incomplete. You really want the full code, like F5, E1, F5, E2, F5, E3, or F5, E4, because the last part tells you what kind of lock problem the washer is seeing. Maytag's own error pages separate these codes out, and the fix depends on which one you have. Let's start with the most common one. F5, E2. On many Maytag washers, F5E2 means the washer cannot lock the door or lid properly. On top load models, Maytag says this often means the washer cannot engage the lid lock because something may be blocking the lid lock area. On front load models, Maytag says the door may not be closing completely, or something could be sticking out and preventing the latch from catching. So, the first fix is simple. Open the door or lid, check carefully around the latch area, remove any clothing or objects in the way, and then close it firmly, not gently, firmly. Sometimes the door looks closed, but it is not fully latched. Now let's talk about F5E3. This is also a lock-related code. On top-load Maytag washers, the official product help page says to start by resetting the control. On front-load models, Maytag says F5E3 means the door is not locking properly and tells you to make sure the door is fully closed and that nothing is blocking the latch, including clothing or even shipping materials on a newer machine. So again, this starts with the same basic check. Door closed all the way, latch area clear, no laundry sticking out, no obvious obstruction, then reset the washer. Now here is the reset Maytag keeps repeating across these F5 pages. Disconnect power for 5 minutes. If the washer is plugged into an outlet, unplug it for 5 full minutes, then plug it back in. Maytag compares this to rebooting a computer, and honestly, that is the right way to think about it. Sometimes the control just needs to clear itself and start fresh. There is also F5E1, which Maytag ties to the door switch. The official fix there is also simple at first. Make sure the door is completely closed and nothing is blocking the switch area. So again, we are still in the same family of problems: door, lid, latch, switch, lock. That is why if you hear Maytag washer F5, the smart first move is to think lock system, not motor, not drain pump, not water valve. Then there is F5E4. This one can be a little different depending on the washer. On some top load models, Maytag says F5E4 means door lid open, and the first fix is simply to open and close the lid. On some front load models, F5E4 means the washer has run for 3 consecutive cycles without opening the door. In that case, Maytag says to open and close the door and restart the cycle. So if you get F5E4, the fix may be as easy as giving the machine the door movement it is expecting. Now, let's talk about the real-world causes behind these F5 codes. The first is something physically blocking the latch area: a sock, a sleeve, a towel corner, detergent buildup, or debris around the lid lock can stop the washer from locking. Maytag's own top-load support says to check for items directly under the lid and also check for detergent buildup around the lid lock mechanism. So if the latch area looks grimy, clean it. The second cause is overloading. On front-load models, Maytag says to leave enough space in the washer to allow clothes to tumble freely and to reduce the load size if needed. If clothes are packed too tightly or pushed into the door opening, the door may not close the way the machine expects. The third possible cause is a control glitch. That is where the 5-minute power reset comes in. If the door is shut, the latch area is clear and the code still appears. Resetting the washer is the next official move. And here is when you stop treating it like a simple user fix. If you check the door, lid, latch area, and load size, do the reset, and the F5 code keeps coming back, Maytag's support pages point you towards service. That usually means the problem may be in the lock assembly, switch, or related wiring, even if the official consumer-facing steps stay simple. So the short version is this. If your Maytag washer shows F5, do not stop at F5. Look for the full code. If it is F5E1, think door switch. If it is F5E2, think door or lid not locking properly. If it is F5E3, think another lock-related issue and start with a reset. If it is F5E4, open and close the door or lid and try again. And for almost all of them, the first checks are the same. Make sure the door or lid is fully closed. Remove anything blocking the latch. Check for buildup around the lock area. Reduce the load if clothes are packed too tight. And reset the washer by disconnecting power for 5 minutes. That is the smartest way to handle a Maytag F5 washer error. Read the full code, start with the latch area, do the reset, and only then decide if it needs service.